Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I appreciate your time. Thank you for watching. We're going to start today off with some good news. Good news in that the Maryland assault weapon ban has been scheduled. The fight against it, the challenge federally. Now, Bianchi v. Frosh is the case, and you might remember me talking about this case for a couple of years. Let me tell you where we are, how we got here, and then what we will expect. So first off, this case was just after the Supreme Court decided the Bruen decision, the great case that we have destroyed a lot of gun control with, it's just dropping regularly. In fact, let me just show you the document from the U.S. Supreme Court, and it's in the case of Dominic Bianchi et al. Versus Brian Frosh, the Attorney General of Maryland et al. And it says, on petition for writ of certiorari to the United States Court of Appeals for the Fourth Circuit, the cause having been submitted on the petition of writ of certiorari and the response thereto, on consideration whereof, it is ordered and adjudged by this court that the petition for writ of certiorari is granted. The judgment of the above court in this cause is vacated with costs, and the case is remanded to the United States Court of Appeals for the Fourth Circuit for further consideration in light of the New York State Rifle and Pistol Association, Inc. versus Bruen decision. It is further ordered that the petitioners, Dominic Bianchi et al., recover from Brian Frosh, the Attorney General of Maryland, $300 for costs herein expended. And if you don't know it by heart now, what came out in the Bruen decision was that in order for any perceived government infringement on the Second Amendment to remain on the books, it must pass the only test now is the text, history, and tradition of this country. If it is not in the plain text of the Second Amendment to the United States Constitution, then it must pass the muster of being in the history and tradition of firearms regulation in this country at or around the time the Second Amendment was adopted in 1791. Not 1984, 1791. Now, this was one of those cases that was GVR'd, and we've been waiting. I've been following it step by step, and I'm here to tell you that it has finally been scheduled. The oral arguments for this case will be heard on December 6th of 2022, starting at 9:30 a.m. in the Fourth Circuit U.S. Court of Appeals. Now also, if you've been on this channel for a while, you'll remember I talked about another assault weapon ban case from a couple of years ago in Maryland, where the Fourth Circuit, in an en banc decision, upheld Maryland's assault weapon ban. That was Colby v. Hogan. In that case, the Fourth Circuit said that assault weapons fall outside of the protections of the Second Amendment's right to keep and bear arms. Fired up? Good. On screen here are the questions that are being presented on December 12th in the oral arguments in the U.S. Court of Appeals. First off, the main question that was presented was whether the U.S. Constitution allows the government to prohibit law-abiding, responsible citizens from protecting themselves, their families, and their homes with a type of arms that are in common use for lawful purposes. Now you saw the main challenge. Let's talk about the questions that were submitted to the court by the Maryland Attorney General, Brian E. Frosh. Number one, is this court's en banc decision in Colby v. Hogan controlling precedent in this case? Because that decision held that assault weapons fall outside the scope of the Second Amendment right to keep and bear arms. Number two, even if not controlled by Colby, should this court follow the ordinary procedural course and remand this matter to the district court to allow the parties to develop a record upon which this case can properly be decided? And three, is Maryland's assault weapon ban consistent with the historical tradition of prohibiting extraordinarily dangerous weapons that pose heightened risks? And now I'll give you the issue presented on the most recent brief by the Bianchi side, our side, who's fighting to destroy these anti-gun unconstitutional laws. The issue presented by the Bianchi camp is whether Maryland's ban on commonly possessed rifles that the state mischaracterizes as assault weapons violates the Second Amendment as incorporated against the state of Maryland by the 14th Amendment. So you can see both sides of how obvious it is for us that it is an unconstitutional ban on arms that are in common use, And you can see the side from the Attorney General, who's like, hey, listen, please let us keep this. Please let us keep this. And if not, then kick it all the way back down to the district court level so that we can have this on the books a lot longer than we would if you just did the right thing based off the Supreme Court's orders. So it's good to see them squirm. It's really enjoyable to see them squirm. But now let's see what the Fourth Circuit does. Again, December 6th, 2022 at 9:30 will be the oral arguments. And I can't wait to see what happens after the oral arguments. If you do want to know what happens, you want to stay in the loop, just subscribe to Guns and Gadgets. Hit that button right down below. We are past 550,000 subscribers. Thank you to each and every single one of you. I can't tell you how absolutely humbling that is. That is astronomical. The fight continues, and I will bring it to you on a daily basis. All you have to do is join this growing freedom family and subscribe down below. And I will get that news to you every day. Until we see each other again, be safe, stay vigilant, and carry a gun to keep you, your friends, your family, your community safe, because that's what the Second Amendment is for. No matter what these anti-gun communist dictatorships across the country think, we're winning, guys and gals. It's going to take some time, but we're absolutely winning. And it's because you are staying in the know, and you are doing something about it. Take care.